How's it going, guys? In this video, I'll be talking about the new NHL 17 roster update. This is the first update of the year, and it's a big one. All of the young players that made their respective NHL teams have been added, as well as a bunch of new college players out of the game that didn't even exist in the game before. So, if you guys are wondering how to get this roster update, all you have to do is go to Customize, then go to Rosters. From there, simply click Active Roster, and then you're going to download the most recent one, so Online Roster 3, October 19th. That's the one you want. Once you download it, it'll be ready to go. So I figured I would just kind of go through every single NHL team, giving you guys a look at what the teams are now looking like, as well as just kind of give my thoughts on some of the rating changes and some of the new players. So Anaheim, I don't think has had any major changes. A couple of things though. Mason Raymond got sent down through waivers, so he shouldn't be on the team anymore. Rackle signed a new deal, so he's now on the team. Lindholm still isn't signed, so if you're using Anaheim in online versus, you can see he's not there, but he is scratched, so all you have to do is go to the scratched players and sub him in. But other than that, I don't think Anaheim's had too many changes. Next is Arizona. Arizona, I know, has a bunch of new young players added to the team. I don't think any of their ratings have changed, though, as they're all still pretty low. Dvorak there, 72, second-line center. You got Dauphin there, fourth-line center at 76. Krause is a 70. I feel like Dylan Strome should be on the team somewhere. Maybe he's scratched. We'll find out here in a second. Defense, you can see Chychrun's also there, 75. So it doesn't look like they changed any of the junior player ratings. They just simply added them to the NHL teams. Scratched here, you can see Datsuk and Pronger, but no Dylan Strome. So I feel like they might have missed that one. Obviously, a lot of players to add, though. I guess we can forgive them on that one. Take a look now at Boston. We'll see what Boston's looking like here. So Cernik's now in the NHL. They got this Aseri guy, 68. That's pretty rough. On defense here, let's take a look. Carlo's now on the team, 64. Like, I see when they call these guys up to the NHL and they don't change their ratings, it really hurts online versus. Because if you're using Boston now, you have a 64 and an 89 char on your first pair. That makes it tough to use. Like, char is fine, obviously, but having a 64 just makes it really tough to play. They've also added O'Gara there, who's a 73. I feel like they definitely should bump up some of these guys' ratings, especially a guy like Carl there when he's playing on the first D pair. Pretty much just makes Boston impossible to use for versus. Buffalo here is probably not going to have Jack Eichel as he's injured right now, so yeah, they don't. They do have Fasching, though. I'm not sure if he was in the game before or not. If he wasn't, though, 71 overall, top 94 potential. I don't remember him being in the game, but I honestly it could have been a player I missed. Derek Grant there is now added. Let's see, on defense, it looks the same. Anything going on scratched, obviously Eichel and Kane's there, but I don't think any new players. Calgary here should have Matthew Tkachuk added for sure. Let's see, there he is, second line center. So yeah, it doesn't look like he changed any of the ratings for junior players, but obviously, like I was saying, they are all on their NHL teams now. It just kind of sucks. I really wished they would have boosted their ratings, because I know, as you guys will see here soon enough, all the college players that they created that were in the game before all got like 80-ish ratings, so I'm not sure why they couldn't have boosted some of the junior player ratings. Aho here, 76, so his rating's not bad. Also, he's got top 6 potential. I'm not sure what it was earlier in the year. Obviously, I'd have to check, but I know last year he had like AHL top 6, so good to see it's at least a better rating now. Also, Carolina picked up Delback off waivers, so good to see they got that through. Scratched here, they got Furk, who they took from Detroit. Still kind of pissed about that one, but looks like that's it for Carolina. And moving on to Chicago now, they should have a bunch of new players. They've got a ton of guys on like rookie deals and stuff. So there's Tyler Mott, former Michigan player, 21 years old, 73 overall, AHL top 6. I feel like that's a little low for him. Maybe he could be a bottom 6 at least, but that's all right, I guess. We'll see. They also got Schmaltz here, 20 years old, top 9 forward, 77 overall, so he's got a bit better rating. We'll see on defense here. Kempney's a 60, so again, like, that sucks. Like, Chicago's D, if this guy was even like a 75, that'd just make it so much better. But having like a 60 on an NHL team, if you're doing versus or whatever, just makes it so tough. Don't think any of these guys are new, so we'll move on now. I think the next team would be, let's see, we did Calgary, Carolina, Chicago, Colorado. Colorado has, I don't think, any new guys. We'll take a look here. I think this is all the same. Take a look at their defense. Yeah, so I don't think Colorado's had any roster changes at all. Mikko Rantanen, though, is in the AHL right now, recovering from an injury. If he does get called up to the NHL, he's already like an 81 in this game, so he'll be good to go. Columbus, I know, has at least one new college player in Renski. Really excited to have him in the game finally. He's another former Michigan player. Columbus here has Borkstrand and Anderson, both in the NHL right now. On defense here, there's Werenski, 80 overall, 19 years old, elite potential, so that's awesome. If you ever used Columbus before in a franchise mode, really sucked, I guess, this last year not having him as a player, but now he's there, and he's really good. So Columbus D, with him added, at least in this game, looks very good. They also have this Nutavera guy called up, so that's kind of interesting. Next is Dallas Stars. Again, like some of these teams I don't think have changed at all, so if that's the case, not going to spend too much time on it. Devon Shore, fourth line center, so I think that's new. Cracknell, I think, was already there from the summer. Same with Korpiowski. Defense, Johns, I don't recognize him. He might be new. So I think Dallas hasn't really had many changes. Maybe a couple, like I said, kind of fourth line changes. Detroit here, interested to see what their D is looking like in this game. The forwards look how they should. They got the lines pretty good. Nyquist, Helen, Vanek right now, just kind of killing that third line in real life. Defense here, Cronwell's injured. They got Ouellette in the game, 78, not too bad. He was in the game before. I just obviously don't remember exact rating. Let's see, they should have Sproul called up as well. There he is, 74, so that makes him tough. Cronwell, Ott, Yurko, Franzen, Vitali, all injured. I think all of them are on injured reserve right now as well, except for Ott. So they do have the injuries right, that's for sure. I just wish, like I was saying earlier, some of the younger players that are like low 70s to mid 70s would be getting slightly higher ratings to make them easier to use. Oilers here, you can see Puljujarvi there, 79 overall, right winger. I believe he got an upgrade. I don't remember him being 79 before now. I might be wrong on that. Obviously, it's hard to remember what every single player's rating was before now, especially when you're only really playing HUT and franchise mode. Both of those ratings, especially when I'm like 5 years into franchise mode, are gonna be different than what the base ratings are. So scratched here. Doesn't look like the Oilers have any other new players aside from Puljujarvi. Taking a look at Florida's roster next. I think they have a couple new players added to the team. So yeah, they got Malgin there, third line center, while Bukestad is injured, and on D there they have Matheson. So again, it kind of sucks that a lot of these players that have been added to these teams are 70s. I really wish they would have changed some of the ratings up, but it looks like the only ratings they changed were the high-end prospects at Puljujarvi. I think Lonnie and Matthews' ratings also were changed, as well as the college players they had to create ratings for. LA here, Devin Setaguchi there signed with a PTO, I believe. Don't think that was in the old roster update. Rest of the forwards look fine. Defense doesn't look like it changed. As far as I can see, goalies though, that's a tough goalie combination there if you use them in versus. So make sure you bring out quick from the scratch list. Next here we have Minnesota, who I believe will only have the change of adding Pulkkinen. And yeah, so fourth line right wing there. Teemu Pulkkinen, he's only an 80 in this game. And honestly, in real life too, just didn't have a spot on the Red Wings. I wish we could have gotten something for him. I feel like easily could have gotten a low pick, but what are you going to do? Montreal here, Sergachev should be on the defense. They also have Lekin there, second line left wing, 67 overall. That's the thing. I know I've already said this a million times, but some of these ratings just make it so hard to use the teams in versus. Not even going to be the best team. You're just going to be using the team with the least amount of young players, as the young player ratings are so low. There's Sergachev's though. His is actually very solid. 18, 76 overall, elite potential. Don't think they've touched him up since the last roster update, but I actually haven't looked at it, I don't think, until now this year, so I like what he's looking like. Islanders here should have Barzal on the team, I believe. Actually, I don't know if Barzal did make it. Boulevier, I know did make it, though. They have him playing second line left wing, 67 overall. Again, that's tough. Quinn there. Defense, I don't think has had any changes. Or actually, never mind. They did sign Dennis Seidenberg. Totally forgot about that one. Let's see scratch. I thought Barzal made the team. I might be wrong. Okay, they have him scratched, so maybe he did make the team. 68 overall, though. So again, it's not these lines with the young players. It's good for authenticity, but when the ratings are so low, it just makes it so tough to actually use them in game. Next year, the New York Rangers. Of course, this is Jimmy Vesey's new team. He wasn't in the game before. 79 overall, so I think that's pretty fair. I was expecting, honestly, an 80 to 82 for him. So the low end being 80, they actually made him even one overall below 79. So that's pretty fair considering hasn't played an NHL game yet. Or at least he hadn't probably when they were doing this player creation. 23 years old, top 6'4" potential. Like I said, I think that's a pretty fair rating for him. New York here also has, I don't even know how to say this guy's name, Buchnevich added to the third line right wing. Piri there, fourth line center, I don't believe was there beforehand. Defense, they have Skeech called up. I think that's how you say it again. I'm sure I got some of these names wrong. Goalies, no changes, scratch there. I don't think there's any big changes there. So obviously Jimmy Vesey is the new big player on the New York Rangers. Next here are the New Jersey Devils, who've had a few changes to their roster. Obviously they picked up P.A. Parento off of waivers. He's playing third line right wing. Third line center there, Pavel Zacha, 78 overall. That's not too bad. They got this Miles Wood kid, 72 overall. Blake Spears, 63. On defense, they actually added Kyle Quincy, who I totally forgot they signed like a couple weeks ago. And then they have this V2 guy who I've never even heard of, but I don't believe he was on their defense before the roster update. Taking a look at the Nashville Predators now, I think they just had a few guys get called up from the AHL. So yeah, the first line there, they got Forsberg, Johansson, Fiala. So he's going to have a really good chance to produce this year. They also have Salamaki there, fourth line right wing. Sissons, I'm not sure if he was there or not before. Imagine if they got VC too, if he actually signed with them. They'd have even more depth at forward. Defense, no changes, but I mean, look at this decor. It's probably got to be like one of the best decors in the league. Just crazy to me. Next, after Nashville, we're going to the Ottawa Senators. I don't think Ottawa's had any changes. We'll take a look here. Maybe they have Varun and Zingle. I don't believe are on the team before this update. Defense looks to be the same to me, though. So, again, a lot of these teams, if there were changes, it's just really small stuff, like one or two AHL guys getting called up. Philadelphia should now have Provorov on the team, as well as Konechny. As you can see there, Konechny, second line left wing, 77 overall, top 6 forward potential. Defense, whereas Provorov, 80 overall Provorov, 19 years old, elite potential. So two good young players added to the Philadelphia roster. Those are the kind of ads I like. Like, both of them aren't really going to be too much of a hindrance in terms of versus play. But when you add a guy that's like below 70, it really sucks. Pittsburgh here, not sure about Pittsburgh. I'm going to find out as soon as I look. I think this is pretty much the roster they had before the update. Defense here, yeah, it looks like the exact same roster as last year, actually. So Pittsburgh remained the exact same. Moving on now to San Jose. Again, most of these teams I'm kind of finding out as I go whether or not they've had some changes. If there were changes I missed, I apologize too, but they're probably small stuff. So San Jose, like Pittsburgh, I don't see any changes there from this latest update. It's mostly mostly teams, I should say, that either picked up players from waivers, traded for players, or had young players make the team. For instance, Nail Yakupov here now in the St. Louis Blues. That looks like an honestly really solid line of Yakupov, Berglund, and Pajärvi. I seen Yakupov had a couple goals the other night. That could be a really good line for St. Louis there. Their defense is also stacked. I think I had St. Louis getting like 7th, but finishing like 5th in the West or something like that, like being the 4th best Central team, but actually like 5th best team total. They might do a lot better than that. I think I was probably undervaluing Jake Allen. He's going to prove me wrong, I think, and that team's going to be very good this year. Tampa Bay, let's see, they have Braden Point now out of the team, 72 overall, so again, I wish he was like at least a 75. No other changes on forward. Defense there is also the same. We'll see who they have starting for goalies. So yeah, Ben Bishop there as a starter. Vasilevsky backing him up. Next, guys, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, who've had a ton of changes to their roster with the new update. Obviously, they have like 7 rookies on their team. Going to be some changes. So, like the Red Wings roster, looking at this roster, it looks like they got the lines perfect, which is good to see. Second line there, they have Marner playing with Bozak, JVR. Third line there, they have Hyman called up from the Marlies playing with Matthews and Nylander. If you guys are wondering too, Matthews, 19 years old, 85 overall, elite potential. Beforehand too, you couldn't even play with Matthews in like a regular game mode. You had to either use him in Hut if you bought the card, or use him in franchise mode as the Leafs, or you had to use him in like the World Cup mode. For whatever reason, they didn't have him on like the Marlies or the Leafs until he like officially made the Leafs. So good to see Leafs fans can finally use him. Fourth line there too, they have Brown, Holland, and Martin. Defense here, they have Carrick called up. They have Zaitsev now on the team. Not sure if he was before the update. I really should have checked the rosters before I did the update. They probably have Corrado scratched as well. Yeah, there he is, 79 overall. Same with Seth Griffith, who they picked up off waivers. I feel like he might get the same kind of short end of the stick that Corrado got last year. Just kind of be benched for a bunch of games, but I guess we'll see how it all plays out. So after Toronto, we just have a few teams left here. Looking at the Vancouver Canucks, don't think they've had any major changes. Brandon Gaunt got called up to the team. Defense looks the same. Larson might have been added. Like I said a bunch already, though, I'm not exactly sure what the rosters looked like pre-update, as I mainly play Hockey Ultimate Team in franchise mode, where the rosters aren't quite the same. Washington Capitals here. Sanford's now on the forward lineup. Defense there. no changes. And then finally, the Winnipeg Jets. They're another team like Toronto that have actually had a bunch of changes to the team because of this roster update. So Patrick Laine there, 82 overall, 18 years old, elite potential. I don't believe he was 82 before the update. Kyle Connor, another Michigan player. He's in the game now, I should say. Really excited for this. 19 years old, elite potential, 80 overall. Winnipeg is just going to be stacked now for franchise mode. Tanev there also, I believe, is a new ad. 77 overall, 24 years old, bomb 6'4" potential. Defense, you can see they have Morrissey actually now in the team. Elite potential. I didn't think he had elite potential before. I thought he had like top 6. I think they might have changed that, or I just missed it. And as you can see too here, Trouba is going to be scratched as he doesn't have a contract yet. So give me interested to see what happens there for sure, whether or not they trade him. But anyway, guys, that is it for the new roster update. Hopefully I covered most of it. If I did miss anything, I apologize. But like I said, figured I would show you guys anyways, give you my thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more, guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye.